episode 24 of the Midnight Matinee. Although my intro on my side says Thor Ragnarok, that is wrong. It is Ant-Man and WASP tonight. We out here doing our thing. I just gotta get over here because my system's being kind of a dick right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm tired of this shit with OBS or Restream fucking something up. And then all the shit that I spent fucking countless hours setting up for you guys so that I got production quality and my shit is all in disarray and changed, yet I didn't do nothing. It worked last week. We just got done doing a podcast on his show. Everything was good, but now on mine, it's not working. But I'm here. I got you guys covered. I stretched out a few things, made somebody overlay work a little bit differently, but it's okay. So, we are rounding the corner here. We're rounded third. We're on our way to the home like it's almost in the park home run for us. we got Ant-Man and Wasp. The only two movies left in the Infinity Saga are Avengers Infinity Wars and then Avengers Endgame. And then we'll talk about doing some other of the stuff like Eternal, Shang-Chi, and some of the shows a little bit separate. But I do want you guys to know that that stuff is coming. I also recorded a bunch of trailer reactions for you guys. I'm going to be watching the Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So that trailer reaction is going to be coming for you guys as well. I also watched about 5 or 6 movies that I have 2.5, 3 of my reactions taped up, ready to go, so I can get loaded. So there's tons of content coming for the podcast here, for the stream. So please make sure you're hitting the notification, you're hitting the follow. If you want to sub on Twitch, be my guest, or on YouTube, happy if you guys do that. That'll make my freaking day. All of this content has been put out by us. It's been all in the moment pretty much. We've only had a couple, like a handful tops of pre-records. They were mostly the one-shots. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Sturdy's over here to my right at the moment. He's joining me again. We just got done with Popcorn and Pints. He's coming off of a L for episode in his book from that show. So we're hoping to make this one a little bit more of a up for him, make it a nice positive engagement. So don't forget, if you are up late here tonight, get in the comments, get in the chat, let him know how he's looking on camera. He likes that. Pump him up, because it's his day, his show. We need it. He had some Nick Cage, and if y'all don't know, Nick Cage is like kryptonite to him.
I wouldn't say kryptonite. He's not my weakness. I just hate him because he can't defeat me. I meant to say this on Popcorn and Pints. I was just so angry. So yesterday, before I watched, was it yesterday? Yeah, before I had to watch this movie, I told my stepson, I said, anything you do in life, don't become a fan of Nick Cage. He was like, I don't even know who that is. I was like, even better. And then my wife was like, he cannot stand him. I was like, you probably wouldn't like him either. And he just went back upstairs. But yeah.
So this movie...
like, if you don't listen to anything else in life, listen to or from me, not everything else, but if you don't listen to anything else from me, this right here.
That's it. So what we're talking about is we did the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage over on Popcorn and Pints that aired at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys haven't seen it, head on over to the Popcorn and Pints page. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Is it on Twitch?
Yeah, it's on the Z Network, Twitch,
and on
Twitter,
the Z Network,
Facebook, YouTube.
So you guys can go ahead and check that out. I may or may not, because if you go and catch the episode, you'll hear this, but I had a decent time with the movie, so I may actually do a standalone reaction to it for you guys here that I'll record within the next few days and add it to the mix of putting things up. Like I said, I'm trying to get into the routine for all of you on having content stacked up for you and getting it to just schedule and drop for you, especially for the YouTube content. The gaming content, sometimes it's pop-up. I have regular days that I for sure stick to. Like Monday is my Motivational Monday stream. I play motivational videos, things about discipline, things about pushing through, things about perseverance or changing your mindset. I sometimes attach little pieces of my own experiences to them while either gaming or just talking to you guys in the chat. So if that's something you want to get down on, be my guest. You can go check out the TikTok as well and the Instagram. I get little shorts up on there. I started using YouTube Shorts. I put one up. I always got about 100 views on the first one that I put up. So kudos to that. I'm not mad at that. And you guys love Marvel stuff, so I'm going to make sure I make some for all of this Midnight Matinee Marvel stuff. I'm going to start doing playlists as well, more in-depth and organized on YouTube as well. I've been killing it with the tagging and all that stuff on YouTube and spending time on that. Every time I'm down or I'm laying down and I got my phone in my hand or a tablet, I end up going into my channel, taking care of the descriptions and putting things in playlists and all that stuff. So it's slowly getting to an actual organized place for you guys to go find this content and enjoy it. There's going to be music stuff that's coming in the coming months. I still haven't forgot about my other podcast I've been telling you guys I want to do called The Chop Up. I just got to situate that, finish the imagery for the branding and logoing, and then start working on getting people to come on with me to do some of the conversations. But until that happens, I'll probably just be doing them by myself. So it's going to be just pretty much just myself talking about those topics, giving you my piece. If you guys get down in the chat, that'll be greatly appreciated, because that helps with the vibe. It helps get me to open up and give me your perspective, in which we can go back and forth on the topics as well. And then Sturdy's got a plethora of stuff going on as well. So you can catch him Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing Horror with Sir Sturdy. Wheel generates movies that we get to watch. We've actually been picking a few one-offs and whatnot between Sir Sturdy's podcast and Popcorn and Pints. They're typically newer movies, so that, you know, the relevancy is there. It's more things that you might want to engage with and see kind of up and coming or in the now, so that you guys can decide if you want to watch it. You can get our take on it. Most of our stuff that we do, both of us here, are all spoiler stuff. So if that's a problem for you,
100%.
then make sure you're listening and paying attention to what you want to listen to, and not pay attention to what you don't want to listen to. You're in control of that part on your end. I've been trying to figure out a format, especially for here, to do like a portion of this of non-spoiler and then leaving the spoiler stuff to the end. But the way we just get the conversation going about the show, it's kind of tough to organically do that for me.
The best way that I could say, like, I'll say it for my show. You guys know, if you watch Horror Research Story, I just say, you know, it's a spoiler show, and if you don't want the movie to be, watch the movie first and then come on and see if you agree with us. Then you can really debate with us in the comments. And if you're someone who's just like, I'm gonna watch it either way, then come on, because it could be one of those things for certain movies, not necessarily, not for this movie at all, but for certain movies, you might be like, I don't. For those who don't, I'm a different story. But for those who don't want to watch bad movies, Cody, man, what's up? How's it going?
What up?
Appreciate
Cody?
you popping in.
How you doing, brother?
I've had him on the podcast. Big in the horror.
That's awesome.
Big in the horror scene.
I just was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't want people to come on, start listening, and then, like, I'll shut shit off because I don't want to be spoiled. You know what I mean? I'll just shut shit off. I don't want them to do that, and then they miss out on the episode and the content. Then they'll have to come back to it later. You know what I mean? Type deal. And I hope people do, because the conversations we have are fucking golden at times. You know what I mean?
But I mean, again, with that, because you're gonna build up the clientele, the viewers, listeners, and all. They're gonna know that this is a spoiler. You know what I mean? That this is a spoiler show. And I mean, you could also, but again, it's your show. You can do how you want to do. But I'm just saying, like, they should know.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna figure out a way.
Appreciate you popping in, man. Greatly appreciate it. And actually, I would love to do a watch party. There's something, I'll discuss it later on, called Stream Lounge. I would love to do a watch party with you with that, man, and have you on co-hosting, and just having the fans watch the movie, and you can kind of describe certain reasons why you did certain things. And this guy right here across from me is going to be doing a watch party for his channel as well, because I keep telling him he would be great at it, like him watching certain films and you guys watching it with him and seeing his like, if you see his reactions for films that he enjoys and that he hates, fucking hilarious. I'm telling, I promise you, because me and him watched quite a few movies like behind the scenes together, and we feed off each other and shit. It's gonna be a great time. Make sure you guys check out that, because Worst Damn Gamer is a great entertainer.
I was just thinking about this too, because I know it's fresh, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that have seen it or may not have seen it and might want to jump in either way because it's a decent movie. But I've been thinking about doing like Multiverse of Madness. I've been thinking about doing the last Spider-Man movie. There's a few things, you know what I mean? I like I said, I don't want this to be just a superhero or just a comic book movie podcast, because there's so many different movies and so many different genres that we all love and whatnot, and draw up great conversations, whether they're in-depth, movies that, are meant to be deep or whatnot. But either way, just to get the vibe and get the community going and enjoying each other and interacting with each other. Like, I just want to create pathways for everybody to start branching out and meeting everybody around the world, because I know I've already met probably 30 or 40 different people digitally, through gaming and podcasting and stuff like that. That's super dope to me. That like I got people in the UK that know I'm alive. I got people in New Zealand and Australia or the Middle East that know I'm alive. So that's kind of dope. So for everybody to be in their space where they're vibing, they enjoy their like-minded situation that's happening, I think that's super cool, and that's the best part about all this situation. So I'm definitely going to be doing some of them watch parties. I just got to figure it all out, structure, get it on my schedule and stuff like that, so that you guys know when it's happening and you guys can join, and we'll stick to it. You know what I mean? As long as people were showing up, I have no problem being available and making myself available to do this content and make all this stuff for you guys. There's a lot of the stuff that we're making now that are starting to get views and all that stuff, but I keep saying, like, we were in training mode before, now we're in complete execution mode, and now we're in the refinement mode where we have the execution, we know what we're doing, we can give a little bit of production quality while we're also doing it, but now we're also molding it to more of the viewership and how we're going to get you guys engaged and all that stuff. So it's super dope. So thank you for coming through. Hope you guys have a great time.
And we're connected with a lot of people, like a lot of other creators. And again, going back to that Streamline thing, they actually reached out to me because they seen just the stuff I do with the horror aspect of it. And it's so freaking cool. And it's like, when I go on there, like I talk about the Z Network, our network, I'm like, listen, these people, you're going to have fun with them. I told them, I was like, got to go check out Worst Damn Gamer, got to check out Popcorn and Pints. I actually ended up emailing him the Z Network link tree. Yeah, when I was doing the stream from last night at 9:30, nice. Evil Dead, he's like, I'll check it out. And he just enjoyed it. And he's actually the one that gave me my first $4 I made off a stream, guys. And I'm ecstatic about that. I know some people think, oh, it's only $4, but listen, to get any amount of money for something that you're really, really passionate about, for someone to believe in you.
Yep. And
it was to rent a movie that I'm going to be renting. I forgot what movie it is. I saved it on my list and all that, but I'm writing it in a couple of weeks. And I'm just ecstatic about that, because I'm just like, I know for a fact if this was my 9-to-5 focus, I would kill it, because I have a passion for it. I have the energy for it. It's something that I care about, so I would put my all into it. And I know you're the same exact way when it comes to something. Like, you care about something you enjoy doing. We've met because of this. Technically, like, we met through dreams because of content creation. Yep. He was like, yo, my boy's in the cars, da da da. And the funny thing is, yeah, we started out talking about cars. We don't do that much. We will like in the group chat or like texting or talking to each other. But as far as these shows, I don't think we really need to. Honestly, I mean, maybe down the road, but this is just entertaining, because you're getting to see so much. Like with this movie here, I had a great time. Again. It was fun. It was funny. It did everything for me that I expect from a Marvel movie. And I'll even say, even more so for like a side Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like, because he's not one of like the main, like, that everybody, I'm not saying that everybody knows, but you know what I mean? Like, more people know Iron Man and the Hulk than they do probably any other Avenger for the most part. Maybe, I'll throw Captain America in there. Black Panther, I don't think, he's very known, but I don't think he's as known as those others.
Yeah.
Yo, Ronell, what's good, bro? What's good?
What up, Ro? What up, Ro? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. This is 2 weeks in a row you've popped in. I gotta say, bless up, King. What's good?
You need to be getting on these movies, because you're someone who's not only into movies, but you love this shit right here.
And you can talk your ass off. So let's get it.
Where are you? By the way, shout out to your daughter Patience. Happy birthday to you. You had a
happy birthday, little mama.
Birthday. 10 years old. Great. You are raising two queens, Ronell. Keep that up, King, because I love the way. I love, like, when I'm watching your show, how when you mention your daughters, how you talk about them. And yeah, you do your little shit talking like all parents do, but like when you're talking about how proud of them you are of them, I can just see it in your eyes. And I think that's just an awesome thing. All parents talk shit about their kids. That's just funny to me. That's hilarious. It's the truth. But it's like that shit talk that's like, all right, I can say this about my kids and maybe these 6 people that really do love them, but the rest of you motherfuckers better shut the fuck up.
Right.
Shut up. But nah, seriously, shout out to you, bro.
Yeah. Wells World. Go check him out on his podcast. He's been doing it. I got him queued up on my Facebook, actually, so I can watch his podcast that he just dropped the other day. Haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna. I told you I was gonna be paying attention more. So make sure you're doing your thing, brother. I know you do.
Yo, there's an episode I recommend you to watch. I got to go back and watch it, or at least listen to it. It's the Eddie Stanley episode he did, just because of the story.
Okay.
He dropped it, I think, let us know when you dropped it, bro. But he dropped it this past week. It's gonna be a tearjerker. I'll say that.
All right,
Seriously,
well,
like
check it out.
It's in a good way. Not in a good way, but not in a good way at all, actually. But you'll see.
Wow. Okay. So we'll get that. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here on the Midnight Matinee to discuss Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, Sturdy.
Yes, sir.
24 episodes in. We've had the one-shots with the little shorts and stuff. We've gone through how many character developments in this fucking franchise, right? I mean, Captain America, Peggy Carter, fucking Agent fucking Coulson, Nick Fury, all of the Avengers, those 5 or 6, the characters surrounding each one of those main characters, right? Yeah. With Thor and Valkyrie and the Gatekeeper, Idris Elba's character and all that. All this different shit that we've evolved to, and now we get back to one of the smaller roles, but I had alluded to it in one of the other episodes where despite him being a smaller role or a smaller impact, I guess you can say, on the MCU universe as far as his development or his character, I also feel like especially this movie right here plays such a vital role to the coming events and like what happens to get us back to after the events that take place in these next 2 movies. So this is one of those moments where although you may not be the main focus, let's say in life or whatever, you may not be the biggest player on your team. What up, John? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming through. Although you may not be the biggest player on your team, the fact that you're on the team means you still have a responsibility, means you still have things to carry out, still means you have a purpose, and still means that that team needs you, whether it's in the smallest way or the largest way, and you come through in a clutch moment. And that's how I feel about Ant-Man. I feel like Ant-Man is one of those clutch fucking characters.
I agree. And he's like with his movies too, it's one of the better side character movies, in my opinion. Like, I think it's better than the only one that I would possibly hold up to the standard of the Ant-Man movies, or I think I gave the first one a 7 or an 8. But as far as the Thor movies, it's Thor Ragnarok. The other ones are like 6s, but to me, this is on that level. Like that 7, well, you know what I mean. Along with like Guardians of the Galaxy and all, I enjoyed all those around the same. Okay. And it's because, like, yes, they have their silly moments and they have all that. They have the heartfelt moments, but just the way they tell a story and the way the characters feed off each other as well. Like, it's not like you're relying just on Ant-Man.
Yep.
And I think that is a very strong point. I feel like with Thor, for the first 2, I'll say especially, you're relying too much on that, and you're not getting what you really want from it. I think with Thor Ragnarok, you're almost getting exactly what you want, but you have Thor and the Hulk. And I just feel with characters like these, no disrespect, but with characters like these, you kind of need those other characters in the film that have those important roles, those funny roles. Like, I love the Spanish guy in this movie. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
he's just
for sure.
Like,
for sure.
So, as soon as he took that truth serum, and the guy was like, okay, so tell us exactly everything that happened. I already knew this was going to be a long... All right, yo, I got to go grab my food. I'll be right back.
All right, no doubt. Hold that thought. We'll get right back to it. But this is one of those flicks that the supporting cast definitely helps make it, and they do their job. They support 100%. You got the comedic relief that Paul Rudd is, right? But he's the main character. He's the main focus. You also have these other characters around him that are also characters in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, they're characters. You got his crew that he used to rob banks with and all this stuff stepping up, being the good guy with him. They're running their business from the side. He's just getting out of jail again or whatnot. He's under house arrest. They got the security firm going. They bring him back in, but like, we get this heartfelt story in the first Ant-Man movie. In this Ant-Man movie, it's now he's a hero. Now he's pretty much paid his debt to society. We've had the events unfold that did between all of the other Avenger movies and now through Thor and the shit that happens in space and all this other stuff. And then you come back to Earth with these problems that were, you know, initially kind of first world problems with like within the big corporate world, and the design of the suit being stolen, and that's being the antagonist is like the protege of his new boss, right? And then that gets overcome. Now we got a new situation, right? Now we learn more about the other side of the heartfelt situation with what's his name? His character. It's not Martin Sheen. Michael Douglas's. No, it's not. Is that Michael Douglas? Yeah, it's Michael Douglas. Who created the suit and the technology. He lost his wife in an accident going into the quantum realm, which the quantum realm and the suit's going to play a huge role coming. You know, I'm going to try not to spoil it as much as I can with what's happening in the next two movies, because it, you know, obviously you guys want the payoff, but they have to figure out a way to get. They're working on new methods to work the suit, get it down smaller, get into a certain space in a certain realm that's so minuscule, so minute that literally it's infinitely vast. And his wife ended up going down that small to help save the world at one point, and she never came back. She shrunk down so slow she could not get the suit to reverse. She's lost. They're working on a way to figure out how to get to that point. They inadvertently find a way in, and he kind of disappears on this one. Although they bring her out. They bring the wife out eventually. And it's just kind of cool to watch still the integration and the involvement of, you know, the generations here occur between the developer of the suit and the technology, the new generation that's running the suit and the technology with his daughter and Paul Rudd's character Scott. So I really enjoy the aspects of this movie where they show that, and they show the growth in Paul Rudd's character. You know, he was always doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, and now he's doing all the right things for the right reasons. So that's kind of cool to see the change, right? That's kind of cool to see the evolution in him. We get a little more insight, like I said, into Michael Douglas's character, and where he's, despite his hardships and his tragedies, has evolved himself to this certain point. Although he can't do it himself, he still can guide, and he can still be a resource for the people that are doing it. So I really enjoy all of that with this movie. I really did. I think the WASP character did really well. I think she plays really well off of Paul Rudd's character and them using the technologies to safeguard things. It's interesting to see the past come back and bite. Again, the developer, Michael Douglas's character, where his technology, his ex-partner, is now trying to, well, has kind of surpassed him, but hasn't. And he's got somebody who is experiencing a phenomenon that happened to her due to a situation, and it's causing her to kind of be able to dematerialize, but it's uncontrollable. So they're trying to figure out a way to help her. But yeah, she's kind of villainous and trying in her pursuit to get the thing that she needs to fix her situation. So it's very, they're not really bad guys, but again, the circumstances around their methods for them to achieve their goals portrays them as kind of the villains in this one. So that's kind of a perplexing kind of state to be in, when you know you're not really trying to hurt nobody, you're really not trying to do no damage or no dirt, but you need to survive. So you're willing to do whatever you can to survive, and make your situation better. So although your intention may not to be bad or evil or whatnot, the actions that lead to it can lead you to the perception of you being evil and bad. And that was kind of some of the keynote to the way the Avengers needed in Civil War to start being regulated, because their actions, even though they're heroes and they were doing the right thing. Oh yeah, John, Ant-Man movies are way better than any of the Thor movies, for sure. Thor Ragnarok stands up on his own. You think so? All right, hold on. Let me get back to that. So,
Want me to leave it up here so you don't forget? Or...
Yeah. So we see that in Civil War, right? A couple movies ago, that unregulated heroes can do more damage than good, right? So the government steps in of the world and has to try to mediate that and try to regulate in some way so that all this destruction in the pathway of the end result for the good doesn't cause all this other heartache, and the good doesn't get diminished by the bad. You know what I mean? So like, yes, your result was great, you saved the world, but in doing that, some of your actions didn't avoid such dismal fucking, destruction and or loss of life. Some people say, hey, in the world, that's kind of how it goes, and there's collateral damage, and some sacrifices have to be made, right? That's like a military mindset, right? Well, sacrifices have to be made, right? Business oriented. Well, we got to do what we got to do to survive. We'll move past that and be better in these areas and keep going. Like, there's so many different layers in life that can be applied to. But then we get to, yeah.
I'm just gonna say what you were just saying about the sacrifices. It's kind of crazy about it if you think about it. As far as these superhero movies, sacrifices have to be made. I think the part that kind of seems like fuck is because it's like, okay, I understand sacrifices have to be made, but it's us innocent people being the sacrifices. Like, I have nothing to do with this fucking fight. And I know you're saving the world, but take that shit out to the fucking field where nobody is. And easier said than done, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the way that it's crazy, but at the same time, it's also like, and this is not saying one person is better than the other or whatever, but it's like, okay, so guaranteed we can save 90% of over 90% of the population. But I'm just saying that just to make the numbers easier. It's like guaranteed we can save 95% of the population. Guaranteed. The other 5%, we're not 100% sure of, because where the battle's going to be going on, and it's such a wild battle. I mean, I guess you can go back to what you were saying. It's kind of like real life. It's kind of like war, which, I'm not saying I agree with war, but it's very, very similar. Like, there's innocent people dying in wars all the fucking time. They have nothing to do with what's going on, because they just live there. And it's similar in the sense of this, because it seems like everything's always happening in big cities. You just live there.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. It kind of sucks too, because you're put in a position, right, where somebody's taking action for whatever their vendetta is, and unfortunately, the thing they want or the things they need or whatever their actions are going to be taken out, whatever course of action they take, is taking place in these situations and these places that are highly populated, right? You got big cities with big money and big entities that are producing these technologies or have this weapon or whatever. So it's not like you can stop the fucking battle and be like, yo, flagpole, 3:00, we're gonna meet you out there. Go steal this shit, meet us there, we gonna kick your ass, and then you're gonna give it back if you lose. Like, that's not how it's, it's never ever gonna go like that. Or you can't just like grab them and throw them fucking into the suburbs or something and fight on a farm. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, fuck. Like the situation in Civil War, when they all get into the fight on the hangar, there's a lot of shit that gets destroyed and broke down, but at least, like, not for nothing, there was nobody there. Like, there was nobody there. And like, how often is that in a fucking airport? One. You know what I mean? So it's like, like there was nobody working the fucking luggage shit. There was nobody in the traffic control towers. Like, there was none of that. So it's like, and it's like, the image that jumped in my head is like Dragon Ball Z. Okay? Fucking Goku, Vegeta, they're fighting whatever. They get into these fucking battles and they're punching people through fucking buildings or through fucking mountains and all this shit, right? Huge destructive fucking displays of power and all this shit. But like, nobody ever shows the people dying in Dragon Ball Z.
They do wish them back for certain battles. They do.
Yeah.
But I will say this too, like with Goku, there's a lot of times where, because he just loves to fight. I mean, the same as do in general, but he'll say, he'll try his best to be like, hey, let's go way the fuck over here where nobody is, at least, and I'll fight you.
Yeah.
Like, I'll fight. But he's the type, I mean, again, it's a saying thing. I know it's the make-believe thing, but he's the type where he's like, I'll fight you and I'll fight you alone.
Yep.
You guys stay here. But they're all like that. Vegeta's like that. Super. They're all like that. But again, with Goku, at the very least, he does, let's go over here and fight where it's just a bunch of mountains and trees and shit.
Yeah. And we know life doesn't work like that. The only reason or the only time you tell somebody, yo, we gonna fight, but we going over here or meet me here, is because you just don't want to get caught. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to get arrested. These are superheroes and supervillains. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, they ain't nobody gonna stop them anyway. Like, what's the military gonna run up and start blasting them all out of the fucking sky while they're trying to beat each other up and fucking, one's on their side?
They can't, because then you're just gonna hurt more people.
Exactly.
And you're right about that too. And these are villains. See, there's a difference between, excuse me, in my opinion, there's a difference between like a bad guy and a villain. Because I feel like a villain will take that. A villain doesn't care if they kill. Like, they're just like, this is what I need to get to. I don't care who gets in front of me. And then there's some villains who, like Joker, just wants to kill anyway, cause chaos, chaos and kill. And it's like, so you really have no choice. So it's almost like not a win-win for a villain if they get the thing they get, or if they get it. Even if they lose that battle, it's like, okay, yeah, we lost this battle, but guess the fuck what? We destroyed 97% of this fucking city. We caused so much chaos, and there may be a copycat after me, and
Sokovia.
More than likely, I'm gonna figure out a way. If it's one of the top guys, it's like more than likely I'm gonna be back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be strong, and all this other shit. One thing that I'm always on the fence about with these type of movies is, for most of them, not all, of course, but especially more so with Batman, is just imagine if they killed these villains. Like, how much that would change shit. I know it would fuck them up mentally, of course. And sometimes I just feel, I'm like, I know you want to put them in the prisons and all this stuff, but they break out fucking. You're gonna put them in the prison today, they'll be out tomorrow, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? Seriously, what do you do? Because you know what these people, you know what they're capable of. It's not just somebody going and fucking, not that this is right, because it's absolutely not, but it's not like somebody, I'll just say it like this. It's not like it's somebody going and stealing a steak, or it's not like it's somebody going and, you know what I mean? It's like, they're going to go knock this bank off, blow up 17 buildings, kill 27 people, steal this strong ass fucking weapon, and figure out how to make it stronger, and then have some mind control thing to take over the town and eventually try to take over the world. That's basically villains. Yeah. In a nutshell. To very, very, very brief, very small. And
I mean,
as much as it's repetitive to an extent, we still all love it for the stories and all this other crazy shit. We enjoy watching chaos as people. Maybe more so, obviously, in the movie sense. For me, it's in the movie sense. Like, I don't like seeing chaos in real life. I don't like seeing people get hurt in real life.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are. Even if it's some, like, other countries. I think it's fucked up that other countries are hungry. I think it's fucked up that war and all that other shit. That's terrible. But in movies, you want to see that action, especially in these type of movies. You want to see that cool action, the cool fight scenes, and the cool sequences. But what makes these better, and sticking with this, is they have a good story wrapped around it. Yeah. So it's like, as crazy and as as far-fetched and all that stuff is with these, you can kind of understand why they're doing what they're doing. Like with Ant-Man, with this, when he's like, I got 3 days left and then I'm free.
Yep.
And then when he has to make that decision, he's like, okay, do I go help him save his wife and her mother, his girl's mother and her father's wife, or do I stay here for these 3 days so I won't be away from my daughter? And then when his daughter talks to him, she's like, Dad, I know you can do it, this, that, and the third. Basically, it's the right thing. And he's just like, because that right there is a situation to where, not to that extent, of course, in real life, but that's one of those situations where it's like, fuck, if I do this, I mean, that's just taking on a job. That can just be a job opportunity. That's not even involve the whole house arrest, and that could just be a job. Like, look, I have, it's like I got my family, I got my wife, my kids, and all this stuff. I barely see them as it is, and now I'm going to see them even less, but this job opportunity is going to be amazing. And once I'm all set, let's say it takes 2 years, once I'm all set, because he was on probation for 2 years.
Yeah.
So let's say after these 2 years are up, I can be outside again, even more. But it's like, is it really worth that risk? And then once you hear your child saying, because I think I'm not a parent, I'm a step parent, but I'm not a parent. So I feel like for those situations to be a little bit different if your wife is like, listen, it's only going to be 2 years, we'll handle it, blah, 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 all that stuff. But when it's your kid coming up to you, it's probably even more so like, Dad, we'll help all we can, this, that, and the third. It's like, okay, I have to do this. I
Well,
had to
yeah,
take that.
especially with the mentality of being a parent, because everything you do is always with the focus of the child and the
Yeah.
family at mind, right? So once you see that the family or the child, your main focus is like, yo, don't let me be the reason you're not doing this. Like, you can do this, go take care of it. That just alleviates all that worry and uncertainty, you know what I mean? Like, even though you may really want to do it, you would not do it perhaps because to you it's worth the sacrifice of maintaining the life that you live right now or the time that you share with your family. But if your family is saying go save the fucking world and you hear the calling, you gotta answer the call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, it's stupid for you to ignore that shit, you know?
Oh, it really is. It's a huge sacrifice, and it's just, excuse me, it's just something to where, again, it's doing the right thing. But again, it's that big, and again with this movie, because you're not only sacrificing your freedom, it's like you're sacrificing your life because you could lose your life doing all this stuff. But it's right, you're doing the absolute right thing. Like, it's crazy, as messed up as it is to where they almost make it look like, as far as the story wise, like he's a bad guy, like he's a villain, like he's still the same thief from how he was in the first one, and he's not that at all.
Right.
And I just love actually, you know what? The character development for this movie from the first one to the second one is fucking phenomenal, and I can't wait to see how the third one is.
That's what I touched on for when you were gone or whatnot. Like, all these character developments are so great because we get to see him go from doing the wrong things for kind of the right reasons to doing all the right things for the right reasons, and it's kind of nice to see, you know what I mean? He still gets to use his skill set that he picked up, but now it's like, okay, I was using my skills or my powers for, you know, the wrong reasons before. Now I have nothing but the right reasons to do it, and, you know, use my energy, my strength, right? Live my purpose type deal. So that was super dope about this movie as well. And then to see the generations within the movies be able to work with each other to try to come up with the solution to this problem. And then, you know, as the movie progresses, we see a situation occur where it's going to play a huge role in the next movie or two. Like, it matters. Like, this is why this movie was mattered. We're gonna see that, you know what I mean? So it's kind of dope to be able to know that there's gonna be a payoff, especially for a character that is not meant to be the main focus, or a character that's not meant to be one of the top echelon characters of this series, become one of the most important entities to these movies and the resolution that occurs within this Infinity Saga and how it all goes to continue on with the future, you know, that occurs within the new Avengers, which I don't know if you saw, they already got the titles. They've already locked down the copyrights for Avengers Secret Wars. They already locked down the title there's another Avenger movie as well, another title as well that I forget what it was though, but I think it's, what was it, New World Order or some shit like that, but it's coming. So I'm super excited again. All right, so now since it's been a minute, John, I can understand you hating Thor and Thor: The Dark World, but Thor Ragnarok, you hated it, and you feel like the Hulk is lame? I mean, I don't feel like the Hulk was lame per se. I feel like they had to
tone him down
a little bit to make sure that he matches and gets on the same level and there's equalness between Thor and him within the peril and like shit that occurs, because then that also, and this whole situation leads to all of the next development for Infinity Wars and all that stuff. So you hated Ragnarok, my guy? Damn. Don't get me wrong, I still agree. I still agree that Ant-Man was better than the Thor movies. And Ant-Man was the reason that my score for the first two Thor movies actually got pushed down, because this one had to be made room and I didn't want to put them kind of in the same level or just slightly above what those first two Thor movies were to me. Because I feel like those, again, like I said, I use the term loosely because we're talking Marvel here in MCU. I feel like those two movies were the bottom of the barrel. For these movies, they're still way better than tons of other movies that I've ever seen.
Yep, we reviewed one today.
Speak for yourself.
But
I enjoyed it.
I hated it. I was so mad, just like not during the podcast, but just like hearing his name more. I'm just like, shit, man. This is
I went into it honestly thinking it was gonna be a shit show, and I walked out of it like, yo. I literally got up and had a smile on my face. I was like, that wasn't bad. I was like, cool. Like Chris said,
thank God this is finally fucking over.
Like
I couldn't
Chris
turn the
said,
TV off fast. As soon as the credits rolled, I turned the TV off. I was done.
He didn't even want to see light coming out of his box no more. He's like, fuck this shit. All right,
and
so
you know what's crazy too? Last thing about that, real quick. So you know how here and there, how you're watching a stream or watching a movie. Like I was watching Disney Plus, and this was, sometimes Disney Plus can get a little skippy. It was doing that for this. What other movies did they do it for? It actually, the Bruce Campbell movie did it for that. Tell me why the fucking Nicolas Cage movie just had to be played perfect. No fuck ups and no. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Perfect in 4K, 60 frames a second, super smooth, crystal clear.
It wasn't all that, dude. But I guess the positive I can say from that is it got the movie done as fast as possible because I didn't have any hiccups. So that's the positive about it. Because my wife was like, why don't you just? She told me, she was like, you're getting so mad about this movie. Why don't you just tell the guys you didn't get to watch it? I was like, no. I was like, this is the pod. I was like, I can't do that. This is the podcast. We all watch these movies. We do it. For the most part, most of us do.
That's fucking great. She's like, bro, just tell him you saw it, or just tell him you didn't get to. Like,
yeah. I was like, nah. I was
make
like,
this shit up.
I said the only time that happens is when I legit run out of time because it just has so much going on.
Word.
And then trying to squeeze the movies in. But nah, I was like, I'm gonna finish it. Like today, I was busy. I had my nephew's birthday party at 3, and then my mom was having a little get together for my older brother.
Oh, nice.
His birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you. So I had to go to my sister's house first, hang out there, have some cake and pizza and all that fun stuff. Hang out there for a couple hours. Then
it's my
right to it's not my sister's. All of it's there.
Send me the address. I'll be there tomorrow.
Your Puerto Rican ass probably would be. Who are you, Puerto Rican?
I have my own Tupperware and everything.
You know what would be funny though is I bet you my sister would hit up my wife like, is one of your cousins here?
Nice. Yeah, you missed the party yesterday. Just give him a slice of cake. He'll be fine.
Oh shit. Like, yeah, Chris, he came here to he'll watch the kids. Just give him something to eat. He'll run around with the kids. He has a lot of energy. He'll tire them out. Come over there. You're all asleep on the floor with Avengers playing in the background. Like, what the hell did you guys do? They had a Nerf war. They got Nerf guns now too.
Oh shit! No, I'm scarred from the last one I had here. Fucking, my eye is still twitchy sometimes when I hear Nerf.
Yeah, it's like I'm done.
Just give it a break.
It was a good day. So then I had to rush home and watch this, and then finish it after the pod.
That's dope.
But this was a real good movie, and the reason I brought that up too is because these movies are like real family movies. Like they're real family oriented. I just feel like these are the perfect films for that, for watching a group. And we say this for damn near every episode, but for like a group family thing, I feel like these are the best ones to watch. Because again, for the most part, the kids, girls and boys, are gonna like it for the cool uniforms, the fight scenes, explosions. Same reason why we enjoy it, but then we'll also enjoy it more because of the story and all that. And I just feel like from child to when they're able to like sit down and watch a full film, I'll say maybe like 4 or 5, depending on your kid, up till 100 years old or older, because there's comic book fans that love these movies. And
so like,
it's
go ahead.
wow.
And it's what?
No, I was gonna say it's just wow. It's just like it's crazy how much they're hit. How much from what we've seen up to this point, how much they've hit. And to me, they only missed on one, and that was Black Widow. I fucking hated that. But for Thor movies, like I gave them a 6. I didn't hate those, the first 2. Ragnarok, John, I don't know how you hated that. I thought that was fun. It was awesome. And I feel, again, if you had the Hulk in the first 2 Thor movies, those are probably been 8s for me too. Just because again, they're back and forth the way they are together. It's like they're like brothers. You know what I mean? They're like brothers that are just competitive.
Okay.
That's basically what they are, and I say because they're so fucking strong, and it's like okay, you know what I mean, or good friends even, like best friends that you like to compete in that way of just not necessarily fighting, but just in that way, that guy shit talk way. You know, like you like to talk shit when you got your car going, talking shit about that, like back and forth. It always goes back and forth, win lose, win lose, win lose, win lose, and shit. And I just love the dynamic of those two. And again, I'm more familiar with all that with the animated series. And so I got that a lot from the animated series, with them training, with them just fighting, just to fucking fight each other, whatever the case may be. There'll be some silly shit, and I love how they kind of portrayed that in the film some. Even with the whole who won, I won, you know, all that shit, I won. And yes, I just loved it.
See, and that's one of the great parts about this movie, right, and this character set here, right? Because you got that brother connection with the dudes, right? With Paul Rudd's character, with Scott's homies. But then you got the family dynamic of Michael Douglas's character and his daughter. And now Paul is kind of an adoptive son in his regards, right? And helping him and all that stuff. You got Paul's situation with his daughter, you know, and that whole dynamic. But then on top of it, you got this like really likable guy who's down to earth, who isn't a science dude in Paul Rudd Scott's character, right? Who gets thrown into this world of science, and then it becomes this whole other side that like geeky nerdy kids that like technology can get down on this because of the suit and how it works, and thinking about quantum physics and quantum realities and all this other stuff. And then you got a guy who knows nothing about it, who's trying to make sense of it, and you're kind of going along with him as he's making sense of it as well. And it's kind of cool because everything's in layman's, you know what I mean? Everything has to get put down pretty much in layman's terms, so everybody can kind of follow along and pick up what they're laying down. So I really like it.
I love they do such a great job with the Marvel Universe with the whole like scientific terms of shit when it comes to that, like the real sophisticated big terms of it. And then say if anyone else is in the room besides say like Tony, if it's not like Tony Stark having a nerd off with one of the guys and you don't know who they are, it's like, what the fuck did you just say? He's like, oh, you just gotta push that button. And they're like, why didn't you just say? I love how it's cliche, and as much as you see it in film, I love it. Like, why didn't you just say it in the first place? I'm thinking the same shit. Like, what the fuck? What? You could have just said push the button. I know that's not the exact thing, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, you could have just said this to where we all understood. You didn't have to say it to where only you and the people you work with and the dude across the street understands it. They're not even here, Tony. It's like, they're not even here. But it's fun to see that. And then I also enjoy, like, because the acting is so good in these movies, going with the nerd off and like with the things that the people get excited about in these films, like where they, you know what I mean, like with Tony Stark with the technology, with with Paul Rudd's character with his daughter, and how they're just playing in the beginning of the movie. I thought that was awesome, and that looks fun as shit. That looked fun as shit.
Yep.
Like, take me through that. Shit.
That would be dope.
I just like seeing stuff like that because it brings the kids back out of us. You know what I mean? It brings like that happiness and that laughter and that smile, and just like, yeah, they know what they're doing with these. And I hope it continues through through the next phase, whatever phase that is. I have no clue. I'll call myself like a casual fan of these type of films. I do really love them. I would say I'm a fan. But I don't want to say like I'm a diehard, like those deep dive diehard people, because I'm nowhere near that. I don't want to disrespect you guys. I am a fan of these, and they're just I just enjoy them. I don't rush to them, but I'm glad that I did finally watch these with this podcast, just because it's in the order that it's in, because it just makes the movie so much better. Because everything connects. You just gotta pay attention. Everything connects. You know what I do miss? You know one thing I do wish Marvel kept doing? Some people probably didn't like it. I don't care. The shorts were fucking awesome.
Yeah, they were fun.
And they were short. Like, they were literally, I mean, they're called shorts, but they were literally between, let's say, like 2 minutes. I think the longest one was about 15 minutes. But the story, or the little side story, or beginning or end to a story, just a little thing, and I still think Coulson should have been eating those donuts. getting a Thor. That would help the movie. But just those little things, those little details they do in those, I'm like, yes. Because it's something that's out of the movie, and they always figure out a way to bring it back to the movie. A real subtle way. I just wish they added the donuts. But a real subtle way they'll do it. Or not even subtle. I can't even say that, because there's parts where they're like they found weapons in the short, and then it's in the next movie. I'm like, yes. Thank you. And then they're funny as...
Sorry, what?
No, saying, and then they're funny as hell. They're always funny and badass. The shorts?
Yeah.
They should have kept it.
They're so good for being so short. Like that's the great part. Like it's don't need a lot to do a lot. You know what I mean? Sometimes a little bit goes a long way. So right now, so basically Phase 3 ended with the end of the Avengers movies here that we're coming up to. Phase 4 is underway at this current time. So we're in the middle of Phase 4 for the movies. So Love and Thunder and Black Panther basically are just out now or coming out, and those are gonna be like turning over to past the midway mark. So we got Captain Marvel coming in November, Part 2. We got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming beginning of 2023. We got Blade coming in 2023. We got the next Ant-Man, it's called Quantumania, coming in 2023, and we're getting another Fantastic Four movie.
Another it's
I
done
don't
by
know
Marvel.
It's Marvel. Yeah, it's Marvel. It's all Marvel. It's Fantastic Four. That's Marvel's property. But this one's gonna be MCU.
That's what I meant. I wasn't sure if it was part of the MCU thing or was part of the, you know, there's the MCU thing. There's the weird Sony shit that I don't understand.
So my question for that is if are they gonna play off of one of the last ones that played, either the last one they just did with the remake with the black kid that was Human Torch and Doctor Doom and all that stuff, or is this gonna be something different because you haven't seen Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness yet? All right, so I'm not gonna ruin it all, but Reed makes an appearance.
Okay.
The stretchy guy, Dr. Reed.
Yeah.
And it's played by the guy that played Jim from The Office.
I don't watch that show, so
you gotta know who I'm talking about if you saw his face.
I'll Google it right now. Outside, so I can see.
His name's John something with a K. Jim. John Krasinski. He did a couple like Netflix type movies. Yeah. So he's a bit older now. He's got a little bit of a more distinguished look to him. He's got grays. He's got a beard. So he actually makes an appearance as Dr. Reeves in fucking Multiverse of Madness. So nice. I'm not sure if they're gonna do off of that because of this whole multiverse and everything that's happened. Because then when we watched, because I saw Morbius the other day, which for some reason Morbius is not part of this, but it's weird because Spider-Man is, and in Morbius, the end credit scene shows Michael Keaton's Vulture character making an appearance in it and popping up because of the rift that happens in fucking Spider-Man with the multiverse that fucking occurred that made the other Spider-Mans come and the villains from the other universes. Mm-hmm. So he ends up in the Morbius universe, which I think is going to be part of the Spider-Man universe, which then makes it MC. So I'm very, very, very intrigued to see what they go on. And then confused. You're confused?
No, I get what you're saying, but just like the way that they tie it in, because it's like, isn't Spider-Man Sony still? I know it's Marvel, but isn't it, or is it a part of the MCU now?
Because remember, he makes an appearance in Civil War.
Good point.
Right, and then after Civil War, not the first one with the little English kid. What the fuck's his name? Why can't I think of his name now? The one who's with Zendaya. Either way, the second and third, Tom Holland, yes. So the second and third movie technically are MCU because they happen after Civil War and when he gets the suit from Tony. And then the third one happens after the events of Infinity Endgame. So this next one for sure is MCU.
Okay.
So to me, all of the new Tom Holland movies are MCU. So I was having trouble figuring out if I should throw them in as part of the schedule for this at the beginning. I'm probably just gonna do separate ones for that, but then add them into the playlist on YouTube. And then when this new Spider-Man movie comes out in September or December, do a review of that and then throw that in to keep it going with, you know, all that.
How it's supposed to fall in the face. So it's not like we're gonna go back and it's like, no, we're not gonna review episodes. We're just gonna, or whoever you have on, I'm just saying, throw them, like plug it in here, like this puzzle piece. Like, it's like you're putting a puzzle together. It's like, okay, I got with Marvel. It's like, this is 100,000 piece puzzle.
Yeah, seriously.
We have 6 pieces, so let's start throwing them in. Okay, now this part came out, so we can put this here. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and eventually it'll be done. Either that, or it's gonna make our nieces and nephews taking over.
Well, I mean, seriously, I feel like all this stuff is gonna go for the next at least 10 to 20 years. But
longer.
The nice part about YouTube, at least, is like you get to recommend what, you know what I mean, at the end cards, like what's either let YouTube recommend for you which video, or you know, tell them which one you want to play. Or I can also do the little pop out thing on the top right with, hey, next episode is Spider-Man, click here to watch after this, you know what I mean, type deal. But then we also have the shows, right? So we started with phase 4, started all of these shows. That's what initially started this phase, right? Because we had WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki. Well, Loki was the first one, but still. What If? Now we got, and then Hawkeye. But then now we had Moon Knight come out, and then we had Miss Marvel come out. Now we got Secret Invasion that's going to be coming. We got Ironheart coming. We got Armor Wars coming. We got I Am Groot and a Guardians of the Galaxy, another like spin-off show as well. So this is looking pretty fucking interesting. And that's just between the end of this year, the next 6 months, and the next 6 months after that. So give or take within a year, all of this stuff is about to be happening for more MCU content that we're going to be able to review here on the Midnight Matinee for you and get up for you. So that's why I keep trying to tell you guys, if you haven't done it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and hit the bell, hit the notification, go to the YouTube, subscribe, hit me on Twitch, subscribe. You know what I mean? It's going to be worth it, because besides the gaming content that you get from us, besides the 2 horror podcasts a week you get from us, besides the Popcorn and Pints, the pop culture movies from eras that you get from us, foreign films, I mean, everything's included there. You're also going to be getting movies like this from me here. You're going to be getting movies that are even more current in the not just MCU, but in Hollywood that's dropping, that I'm paying and I'm putting pins in so I can continue to review. And like I said, this week alone I've watched about 5 or 6 movies for you guys that I got fucking 3 of them, 2.5, 3 of them already taped, ready to go for you. So there's content.
There's so much going on behind the scenes and just ideas we have, and like the coolest thing is the connections we have with other people, with other podcasts like that aren't a part of our network, that aren't a part of the Z network, and we're just like, yo, let's do this. And Thursday night, Horror Research 30. Shout out to the Scene Slaps, Casey. He was in the comments, hey man, if you're free, if you can hop in for a little bit. And guess what he did? He hopped in for a little bit. He was like, I have a break at work. I can hop in with you guys and chit chat for a little bit. He hopped in, gave a nice review, had some fun with us. And he's going to be back for a full episode. But just shit like that, the connections, I love. I fucking love it. And this stuff, I mean, I'm telling you again, this stuff right here, guys, tune in. Tune in. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. Let people know about it. If you like them, if you hate them, that's fine. Let them know about it either way. Hit that share button, all that great stuff, because this is we love doing this. Don't get me wrong, we love doing this, but it's just like I love the back and forth with people. I love the difference of opinions. I mean, John with hating Thor Ragnarok. I love when people come in here and say stuff like that. If I agree with it or not, and then they're here debating and stuff, when you can, of course. I know it's later and I know people are busy. I'm just saying, just in general, like when you come on here and you can debate with us live, it is fun. And again, with Horror Research 30, it's an open door policy. You want to come on, the only rule, you have to watch the movie and come on and review it. When you come review it, you have to actually watch the movie. I know here and there I have special things where I'll invite certain people on, but that's just certain people that I know. But watch the movies. I mean, you could just watch the movies and then jump in the comments, people. Watch the movies and jump in the comments. It's fun. we love that. That's why I.
Or if you got questions about the movie and you're uncertain about the movie, ask questions so that we can let you know certain aspects of the movie that you're intrigued about or that you want more clarification on. If we know about it, cool.
If there's something that we may have not, I'll say yes, we messed up on, made a mistake on, or if it's just something you think is completely different, like you got a completely different vibe from the film, you got a completely different story from the film, from what you've seen and heard from your eyes and ears. We love those conversations. We really, really do.
So we can talk movies all day, watching different types of movies. One of my favorite things about doing these movies, especially in the MCU, is that they're such huge conversation pieces. There's so many things to these movies that we pick up on, that we get to relay and we get to talk about, but there's so many other things that either we forget about because there's so many intricate little nuances to these movies and little Easter eggs and little hidden things that honestly we don't have the ability. We probably could if we kept notes and like paused every scene, but we're not doing that. We're going in, we're watching these movies. A lot of the time, this is a first view for Sturdy, so that's what made this even more fun for me to do with him, is because I get a fresh person, a fresh perspective, not somebody who has seen these 1,000 times and knows everything about them that I get to talk to and I get to learn off of, but we get to talk about other things, get a little bit deeper, and then we get to get other people involved and bring them along for the journey that can input more, that can keep the conversation going, that can add to the quality of it and add to the nuances that we missed.
And that's what I enjoy. And I even want to go back to what you were saying about the really super fans that have seen these movies 1,000 times and know the comic books like the back of their hands. I love hearing your guys' perspectives on that and your passions on it, because I understand it. Like for me, my favorite genre, as you guys know, is horror. I'm not going to say I'm like an encyclopedia for it, but there's a lot of films that I do know and love. And I love when you guys can watch these movies right here, right? And just from hearing it from another room, you know the exact part. That's fucking awesome. Yep. I can do the same thing with a lot of horror movies, but you know the exact part, you know the exact detail, and it's like you'll pick up on, because you're such a fan of everything around it, of everything around this Marvel universe. I'm just sticking with the Marvel universe, to where you, like I said, you know the cartoons, the comic books, you know the details. Like there's people who've watched this movie 1,000 times, and they can, of course, you can point this out. Plenty of things that I've missed just from watching it on my first time view. But I also enjoy the first time view of things, like to where when it's something you enjoy. I enjoy that because I love that, getting that experience, like that feeling. And I also love that there's times where I've done podcasts with, I'll just speak with my guys from the Z Network, like Chris and everyone else, and other people in general, to where my first time view, and say they've seen the movie a bunch of times, I may have seen something or picked up on something that they may not have picked up on from seeing it so many times. Mm-hmm. Because there's certain films you see so many times, you enjoy it, but I don't want to say you're not watching it, but it's like you almost pay attention less because you know what's going to happen. And that first time viewer, I'm like, oh my god, and then I'm like, boom, 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 this happened, and oh, this is what I got from this conversation. You're like, oh shit, and you go back and like, oh shit, wow, like now I need to, because you've said this, like now I need to go back and watch this shit again. Mm-hmm. Really pick up on it more. Like there's so much to do with these things, and as much as I use myself as much as I joke around and all this other stuff and say things about movies, if I like them or not, besides Nicolas Cage, you have a right to your opinion. Like your opinion is not wrong, it's your opinion. So like if you love the movie, if you like the movie or whatever, however that made you feel, that's your opinion. You're 100% correct for that. Don't let anybody tell you any different. It's how you feel. Hey, I'm just saying I didn't like it. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But hey, that's me. And I hope that episode gets a lot of, people going in there talking all that shit in the comments. How did you not like this? Boom, boom, boom. Blow it up. Blow that episode up, then blow the rest of them so you can hear what the fuck I'm talking about in other episodes. Just saying, people. Like the conversations are fun. The conversations are hilarious. They're impactful. They're meaningful because there's a lot of deep stuff into these movies, and it's cool to be at a point in life where, again, I'm going to use the minority thing, people, with horror and with these type of movies, like people that look like me and you, not only are we seeing people that look like us on the screen, but it's like, it's cool to talk about now. Like as a kid growing up, talking about horror, oh, you watch these movies? Come on, man, it's for what? Like, no, movies are for anybody. Movies are for everybody. There's no race for movies. Yes, we make the jokes. Yes, there is stereotypical movies for certain races and all that, ethnicities and all that other stuff, but it's not just for you, it's for whoever wants to view these masterpieces. Or I won't call them all masterpieces, that's ridiculous. Whoever wants to view these works of art. Whoever wants to review these works of art, what up, Han? Thanks for tuning in. And this is one of this right here is a beautiful work of art. I wouldn't necessarily call it a masterpiece, but it's fucking, it's just, I don't know, yo. Like you were saying, it seems like Ant-Man is so insignificant, and I didn't see the next 2 films, so I can't wait to see.
I can't wait. I can't wait for you to watch fucking Infinity Wars and Endgame. I cannot
Ant-Man
wait.
movie. I know the whole quantum, whatever the quantum something, and there was the quantum thing in this movie, so I'm like, and I remember him getting stuck in there, and I do from the was it the end credits, the end credit? I mean, I didn't see the snap part, but where they were turning to dust, and he's calling him, he's like, you told me not to joke around, Hank, and now you're joking around this, that, and the third, and then he goes back and everybody's just turned to dust. I'm like, whoa, I know where this is going, and I love that they did it the way they did it. Let's go.
That's why it's like it's so unsuspecting for him to become such a big part of what happens in these next ends, because he only had 2 movies. They were scattered at midway point and 3/4 mark or end mark, at the 80-90% mark. And now the huge fucking climax is about to come down, and he's gonna be one of the most important fucking reasons and pieces to the story on its progression and conclusion up till that part. So I can't wait for you to watch these. I can't wait for you to watch these.
I can't either. I'm not even 100% sure. I could be wrong with this, so do not quote me, but I will find out. I don't know if my wife watched the last 2 just because she knows how because she's like really attached to these movies. Like she's very emotional with these movies. Like she'll cry during the movies. I don't. I'm not trying to be like Mr. Tough Guy. I just don't cry during movies. I don't know if you do or not, but
not with these.
I know for those last 2 movies she's gonna cry. I know it for a fact. But she get all teary eyed, because she really gets she loves these films.
I will tell you, after Infinity War, when I watched Infinity Wars, that movie kept me so at a point of because you're so used to watching movies that kind of either start off on a low note or start off a high note, come low, and then get to another climax, and there's a resolution, there's closure, right? Or at least they leave you with enough of closure and a cliffhanger to get you to wait for the next one, to get you back excited, or throw another piece of the puzzle in the mix with other characters and all that. And we knew at this point that wasn't gonna be the case. We knew that when Infinity Wars came, we were almost down to the end here. And then for them to end it the way they did, I cannot wait for you to fucking watch it, because I was for almost a year or 2, I think it took, was it 2 years? I don't remember if they did it the following year, put it out, or if, you know what, why am I over here trying to fucking guess or remember? So Infinity Wars, so Avengers, so that came out 2018.
Endgame came out April 26, 2019.
Okay, so we only had to wait a year. But even though for that year, that was one of the most agonizing waits of this entire fucking universe.
I love that you say that, because I've seen memes that I chuckled at. I didn't watch these movies, but I laughed at because I understood the joke. Where someone was like, yeah, I'm watching these movies with my son, but we just got to Infinity War, so we're making him wait a year to watch Endgame. And I'm just like, that's fucking... So I'm like, so he can feel how I felt.
I mean, which isn't bad, because if you think about it in retrospect, for some of these other movies, especially the other Avenger movies, and the Captain America movies, we had to wait 2, 3 years, 4 years for some of these to actually drop and come out, and it's all right, cool. But then the way it happens, and I don't know what it was about the way the end of this movie occurred and happened. But even right now, my body's going through the memory and the feeling and the remembrance that I had of fuck. Fuck.
Ready to watch him again? Well,
what the fuck? And then I had to wait a year to see, cause you're sitting here the whole time too, how are they gonna do this? What the fuck is about? What the fuck? And for a year, that's all you can think about. Was
I wish that I was as big of a fan in this type of film as a lot of people are, just for the fact of wanting to actually go see every single one of these in theaters, wanting to like not even necessarily being first in line, but at least seeing it opening weekend, or at least within the first week. I'll say within the first week, because that's what I do with horror. So within the first week, it's like if I don't have time opening weekend, I try to go within the next 2 weeks. So I'll say the first 2 weeks. But just because of that, because it was cool to like hear the people talk. Because I didn't care if people spoiled these, if they're talking about it, like they're like, oh, you intimidated. It's fine. It's fine. And no disrespect, it's just that it's not my favorite type of movie to watch. I love them. Don't get me wrong. They're fun. They're enjoyable, and I can go back and watch quite a few of these. I won't say all of them, but I just wish I had. I wish I had the same passion I have for horror. I wish I had it for this, but at the same time, I feel like if I did, it would be tough for me to watch. I'd be broke as shit for one, because trying to go see all these movies, you know what I mean?
Bro,
But it'd be tough. It'd be doable, but it'd be tough to go.
We made it a thing.
Yeah, what's cool with that though is like the wife and I, we make it a thing when horror movie, because we both love horror. So when like horror movies come out, certain ones, of course, we got to go see that in theaters. Like we have to go see that in theater. We just go see it in theaters just cause, and it's time to chill, hang out. And I just wish I had that passion for these films, but I don't, and I don't even want to pretend I do, because I don't want to. I know how it is to have that fandom, and I don't want to disrespect it. I know how it is to have a fandom for something. I don't want to disrespect it. Not saying I'm not a fan, but I don't want to be like the type of person that acts like oh yeah, I'm going to see this on opening night. I have to go, because I'm not that type of fan for these movies,
bro. Like, and so to your point there with how you can watch majority of these again, but not all of them because you're not the biggest fan. I think they factored in that notion of replayability, because you're not going to remember in 2, 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years from now, everything that happens that leads up to certain things. So if you go, let me watch Captain America 1 and then let me watch fucking Ant-Man, you're going to be like, I gotta go back and watch either the one after Captain America 1 and then the one before Ant-Man, or I gotta watch all 6 of these or 8 of these movies to get the whole picture of what exactly is going on here again if you don't remember it all. Like, you have to.
You know what's cool about like what my wife does, is like for certain films, like she'll just watch them certain types of year. Like, for example, she loves Harry Potter, so she read the books like God knows how many times, and then I told her about this app. It's called Libby. If you have all you have to do is get a library card, and you can get free audiobooks. Get a library card, and you download the app, put your library card information in, and so what is she listening to? Harry Potter.
Nice.
She watched it, she's listening to it, and then the movies she'll watch like around Christmas, the whole series. She'll just go to either get a little snacks, curl up on the couch, get her blanket, do all that stuff, and coffee or whatever, and just watch those movies within damn near a weekend. Sometimes she'll take like a week to watch them. It depends what's going on, but if it's just like sit chill, she'll just watch those movies. I tried. I'm just not a fan. I fell asleep.
Yeah, the first one's kind of a slow one. The second one, it gets really good. The third one gets really good. The fourth one gets even better, and then the fifth, sixth is like, holy shit. I think there's 7 altogether.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you do like a thing, like your own solo thing, or review it with somebody, she will want to tune in. She'll want to know your reviews, and if she doesn't agree with it, you already know. You've heard her up here before. She will cook just for nothing.
So I got the Dumbledore's thing in my list, and the what the hell is it called? The Mysterious Beasts and all that shit. The new ones that are like from the predecessors or whatever. So I got those, and I definitely want to do those. I might have to throw the Harry Potters in, give my reviews and all that stuff. But I was sitting here thinking about it, especially since you were like, yo, I never seen these, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Infinity Wars and fucking Endgame might have to be like my first 2 watch parties. Like, I feel like if I do the right fucking posting and shit like that, that'll draw some people in and fucking get some conversations going.
The posting, and then you just have to have it at like the right time too. I mean, have it around, you know what I mean? Like, Because if you have it on a
Fuck,
decent time,
it's next week and the week after. Fuck, I gotta get started on this. I gotta plan it, put it together if I'm gonna do this now. If not, fuck.
I mean,
But
dude,
damn, I might have to postpone. I might have to postpone these 2 next episodes just so I can get this watch party shit going.
August, not next weekend, but the weekend after, I'm not going to be recording at all Friday through Sunday because that's the con weekend, and
that's right.
We're too damn busy. Like the first day is not Friday; it's from 5 to 10, and then I think Saturday is 10 to 10. I gotta look it up again. And then Sunday's like 10 to 5, and then I'm taking that Friday and that Monday off. Because Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going hard. Monday's chilling, relaxing, and then get back to the real world on Tuesday, basically.
Yo, all right, so we're coming up on the end here. So Jayhan, if you're still in the chat, brother, hit me up with a GG's real quick. I want to know, have you seen this MCU universe? Have you seen them all? We're on Ant-Man and the Wasp right now. There's only 2 movies left up to the end of Phase 3. We're starting Phase 4. What did you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp? What's your rating? I want to know. Get it in the chat if you can, my guy.
Yes.
While we're waiting for that to come through, let's start it off. Okay. So we got to the end. We talked about the disappearance and all that, and I was waiting for that because that's, like I said, like, I love how this movie is such a separate movie, but it still plays into the universe. There's really no mention of anyone else or anything else other than the fact that he was involved and met the superheroes or whatever in Civil War, and that's really it. And then this shit happens. They're fighting this situation, and then at the end, there's the regroup and fucking like full circleness to all of the Avengers, all the universe, and everything that's going on. So, what do you give Ant-Man and Wasp right here, Sir Sturdy of Horror with Sir Sturdy?
8.5.
8.5, my guy.
Seriously, it was just a good movie, and in a weird way, man. Like maybe because I see my family a lot today too. Like, cause I watched half of it before I see them, and literally the second half, and then no, that's a lie. I watched half of it after I seen all of them, and then the second half after my pod brothers. Which,
okay.
You know, he made a poor choice in fit Chris, but that's besides the point. I forgive him. I do believe him when he said he didn't go in there with the intentions of annoying me, but at the same time that just made it better because we would do the same things to each other. That's what brothers do, isn't it? Like, I know that I do want to see this movie, but I know it's gonna I know it's gonna make you real animated on the episode. But that's not my first thought until like after I'm like, okay, we're doing this movie, and I see your reaction in the group chat. So yeah, we're definitely doing this shit. We're definitely doing this shit. Let me find another one.
That's why I try not to get in the group chat and say nothing. Like today, I had to hold back. I wanted to so many times, and that's why the other day when I was on your podcast, I was just like, I'm just gonna say one thing: Sturdy needs to see it, and that's it. Like,
you did say that, but no, like going back to this movie though, it's 8.5, and it just works. Again, it's the way the characters work with each other, how they build off each other, how they work together in this movie. You're not getting too much of, which Paul Rudd is a good actor, don't get me wrong. I think he's a really great actor, actually. But you're not getting too much Ant-Man, Paul Rudd stuff. You're getting a mixture of that. Like when you see him with his daughter. When you see him with this team that he's working with. You see him alone here and there, but it's like you're seeing these characters for the most part when you see them, they're with somebody else like they can kind of bounce off and feed off of. And I just think that's Lawrence Fishburne was in this. My man Lawrence. Yep. And I love his back and forth. I forgot his name in this movie, but his back and forth with the guy, him and Hank.
Yep.
And I love how we hate each other's guts. They hate each other's guts, of course, right? But it was like, deep down, do you really hate each other's guts? The way that the movie panned out. If you haven't seen this yet, when you get a chance, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth it. Recommended, highly recommended. Sir Sturdy, stamp of approval for most of the Marvel movies except for 3. Yeah, I could say that. I could give that a fair thing because they were all 8s and up. So except for 3 of them, these get it. And again, it just makes you really like want to. For me, I can't wait to see what's next of this phase of these films because I'm like, I know it's gonna be crazy shit. I know it's gonna be sad shit. I know there's gonna be some characters that you just love that just are gonna be gone. Yeah. I know a few of them. I'm not gonna mention it because I do want to see the movies and see how it happens and all that good stuff. But it's like, fuck. It's like, fuck. Like this is the part where I think my wife got to this point of these movies and just because she knew. And again, like her emotional attachment. I don't know if she watched them or not. Maybe didn't finish them, but I believe she will watch these with me. And Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not the good thing about these Marvel movies is that she does really enjoy them. And so she had no issue like watching them, and she gets like, so when's the next episode? What are you guys doing? What movie are you guys doing? And she'll tell like, you can't watch this movie without me. I'm like, well, like last weekend she went to her sister's birthday out in Rochester for the weekend, so that was like another time I was like, I have to watch. I was like, I gotta watch this. We don't have, because we were planning to watch it, but we just ran out of time. And she was like, I get it. She's like, I get it. You got to do a show, and I know what you're trying to do and trying to build, which I think is dope too. She's like, I understand you're busy, like during the week and shit, which I'm sure you get it from your lady too at times, right? So there is times where we're just like, you know what, guys, we're not gonna pod tonight, or I'm not gonna game tonight. I like Mondays and Wednesdays. That's another reason I stopped gaming, just so I can chill with the wife more, and it's just a lot. So I'm like,
I'm not gonna lie. If you would have told me that, I probably would have been like, all right, delay.
wait for this.
If you would have told me that, Francis said you can't watch it without her, and then fucking you were like, but I got it, I would have been like, nah, we good. So you gonna watch it with her.
That's that Puerto Rican connection you two have. Even though she's with her,
because it also makes me happy that like you guys are doing it together, you know what I mean? And she wants to share that moment.
I had to throw that in there though. But what's funny about you, Chris, and what I enjoy is you're you 100%. Like I have to go back to the painful night of the chip. There were so many episodes. Chris has heard my wife say this. Please tell Chris not to embarrass us. Talking about Puerto Ricans. And she said it during that live. You heard her. And she was like, oh my God, what's he doing? And he put the helmet on. Yep, put that helmet on. She's like, oh my goodness. And then put the headphones on over it. And she was like, what is wrong with him?
A lot.
Oh, it was so funny. But it was, I could look back at it. I wasn't laughing at the time because my mouth was on fucking fire. And then I have my wife, who's very loud and animated, sitting right next to me talking about something. I wasn't all that loud. No, you really were. And I feel like when your mouth is on fire like that and you're that uncomfortable,
it's making me fucking sweat.
Everything was more intense. And then you had his loud ass on the other end, which had her hype, like laughing at everything else. Like she showed her sisters the video, they were laughing. They're like, who is he? Like that's where Aaron's friends. Like he's crazy. Why is he wearing that helmet? Like he just put it. The funny thing was, this wasn't even discussed. He just put it on. Like I don't know. Just,
for safety.
Makes him fell out the chair from laughing so hard. I believe Danae made an appearance for a little bit too.
Huh?
At least I said I believe Danae made an appearance for a little bit too. At least in the background.
I can't remember. Possibly.
You know what it was? Because here's what it was. She was watching the live from the other room, but she was yelling back to you.
Yeah.
You could hear her, and then my wife would be yelling. Because I remember at one point when we were all saying goodnight to Danae, my wife was going downstairs to go to bed. So she's like, good night, yelling from up the stuff like this. And one of those type of network type of get together type of things, whether it be not the chip, maybe game, just something. Our significant others would be involved, like even if they want to be off screen but be heard, because that was a fun time.
Yo, we gotta do like a marathon fucking gummy challenge or something where we fucking all load up on gummies, watch a movie, and fucking just chill for like 6 to 10 hours on stream till the shits wear off.
Oh, you mean like edibles or something? Oh my gosh. We have to watch something that's like...
We need a list of movies. 2 or 3 movies. Like Grandma's Boy, fucking Cheech and Chong, fucking...
Something like this funny shit. I'll be down to do that. I could probably talk the wife into like, you don't have to be on camera, just be off to the side how you were before. We're gonna do like a watch party. I'm gonna be hosting. Chris will be on there co-hosting. We'll try to get a couple other guys. Because we do like, all in all, people, going back to just to bring it in, because we're good at this. The family thing, this whole family, like we were talking about, our families, because these movies are like that family environment. And what we do, like this whole thing that we're doing, it's entertaining, it's fun, but it's also like a family friendly thing. I mean, when I say family friendly, at times, sometimes it's just the adult family. It's not always the kids. Kids have their things too. And for those type of contents, for the most part, it's not, I mean, we're not gonna be talking too crazy, I don't think. But if our wives start talking crazy, we're just gonna be crazier.
And that's what I was gonna say. I was like, and we're hoping that, you know, eventually you all become part of the extended family. You know what I mean? For all around the world. Just, you know, if you're gonna embrace us, we're gonna embrace you, and we hope to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because again, with this type of content, again, for the adult family friendly, and I don't mean that in a sexual way, just a verbiage way, conversation type of wise. Watch this with your significant other. Watch these shows with your significant other, your friends, your family, all that good stuff, and just have a good time. Have a great time. You don't have to be high or drunk. If you don't drink or smoke, that's fine.
Yeah,
get some water, some snacks, get whatever you enjoy. That snack,
we'll do that. You can laugh at us. Like,
yeah. I'm gonna be high. He's gonna be high. That's fine.
Possibly.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna actually speak for Chris on this one. As much as we do want to like skyrocket with these, we want to make the world smile. Like that's as corny as that sounds. We want to make the world smile, because what's better than that? Like if I can make the whole world laugh, if we can make just imagine making the whole entire world laugh at the same fucking time. How healing that would be for the whole world if we all laughed at the same time.
Yep.
And just forgot about all the dumb shit, all the negativity, all the bullshit, all the corny beef, all the stupid wars, money. You forget about all that, because it doesn't matter. What matters is us, the people, and treating each other right, treating the environment right. We got to get better at that. We got to better treating each other right. Doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter what language you speak. We all know love, we all know hate. We need to get rid of hate, because love is a lot stronger. If we could figure that part out, it'd be so much better. It'd be so much better. Then you'd be rich in spirit, and the finances would eventually come, because people would be more willing to help instead of take. That's what we need to get, and that's kind of a message we're trying to send in funny ways with our jokes and all this other stuff. Like we do. I mean, we say crazier shit to each other behind the scenes, of course, but it's never to hurt. It's always just making jokes, having fun, because we could just you got to learn how to laugh at yourself, people. At the end of the day, you have to learn how to laugh at yourself before. But I feel like you need to learn how to laugh at yourself before you can even think about laughing at others. Think about that. Learn how to laugh at yourself before you laugh at others. And then to mix it up even more, it's like, know your faults. You can fix them as much as you can, but have fun, make jokes about them. So when people come up to you trying to tease you, pick on you about it, you're like, yo, my best friends say way fucking worse to me than you guys do. And they don't mean it. You're trying to hurt my feelings and mean it and piss me off, but you're doing a terrible job. Like it's like if you've heard some of the conversations, you would think we hate each other, but this is just, we're just cracking jokes. We're laughing at our own expenses too, because we'll laugh at our own expenses with certain jokes. Let's get to that, people. Let's get to just laughter and smiling and happiness.
Right. And you know that there's a lot more deeper movies out there that we can talk about that have, you know, us either reeling tear strings or happy strings. But at the same time, that's also why I chose the MCU to start off with. Not only is it one of the longest and most expansive fucking movie franchises in history, it also always has a message. There's hidden meanings. Like, I say this time and time again, Stan Lee and his co-creators were on to something, okay? They started this shit in the fucking 60s, right? In Love and Peace, right? Wartime, fucking Nam, all this shit, right? 70s comes along. There's all this hatred between races, and you know, we had the civil rights movement at the end of the 60s and all this shit. Like, they knew what they were doing, and they wanted to make sure that things would be accepted in a way, like, massively, where people can understand differences and accept them, right? So now that we're at a point in our modern day and technology, and we're still talking about this shit, and we're still trying to iron out the kinks in our societies, plural, societies, because it's the whole world, it's todo el mundo. It's that fucking crazy, okay? And sorry for bringing out the Spanish, but at the same time, it's needed because it's serious, and that's why I picked these, because not only is this going to make you reflect on your own character because you have an example that's in front of you, you're going to see about, like, the flaws that these great characters have, these giant, you know, epic, giant, like, gods of people, right, that we're looking up to in these movies and these characters. And then you get to see their trials and tribulations. You get to see their healing. You get to see their growth and their expansion. And you get to remember that they're all coming from all these different angles, from all these different worlds and experiences. Literally worlds in this notion here, right? All different corners of the earth. Like, this is one of the best ways to help tell people and remind people not only to be the best you can be, but also to each other, and also remember that it's not just you out there.
Exactly. I do want to say
I'm
this, guys.
sweating
Like,
my fucking face off from laughing so much.
if you can help somebody, I feel like you should help them. Like, if it's
That's it.
financially, and I don't even mean like paying somebody's bills and all that other stuff. I mean, if you could afford to do that, if you can and you want to, go ahead and do that. But I mean, I'm
Subscribe.
just
Throw bits.
definitely do that. Hit that subscribe button, that share
Shit.
button. Get them bits, buy them bits up, all that good stuff as well. But buy somebody a cup of coffee, buy somebody a Danish, get somebody a glass of, a juice, just something, because that really, like, I feel like, I'm not even making this up, people, over these past few weeks, I've just been doing stuff like that, just doing that, or getting a gift card and just leaving it. And I honestly feel happier for it. Like, I honestly feel like you guys know me, I'm generally a happy person, but I feel like just more of a weight's been lifted. And I feel like something big, great and big is going to happen. And I don't know when, but I just feel like something big and great is going to happen. Not because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because I feel like, if you can help me, but it's just because I'm just being myself. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not doing it as far as the helping people. I'm not doing it for a reward. I'm just doing it because I see somebody's hungry, and if I can help that, I want to help that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go. I'll talk about. I'd rather talk about it like this with you guys than record it or take a picture of it. To me, I understand it, because I do feel like those positive things do need to be out there, but at the same time, we've all been there. Maybe not to the point of being homeless. Some may have. I've not, but I'm just speaking just in general. But when you're broke,
real close.
Yes, when you're like down financially and you're embarrassed about it, and don't be embarrassed. Easier said than done, but know you're gonna get through it. Just keep fighting, and if you could help somebody, help them, because that one thing. Because I think of it like this now. I'm like, that one cup of coffee, that one sub sandwich, that one drink, whatever it is.
Pay their toll when you're in front of them. Give an extra $1. Like,
it's that can change
can't now because of Easy Pass.
That could change their whole freaking day. That could change their life, because it could be someone who's just like, you know what, I'm just like, I don't know what to do, blah blah blah, I'm gonna go out and do something stupid. But then you're just like, holy shit, somebody random just bought me a cup of coffee and a fucking donut. I don't even know who bought this for me. They just left it they left this gift card here. They said, get a coffee, get a donut, and I got that, and this just made my day so much better. It's so small and insignificant to maybe somebody who has it, but the people that don't, or even the people that are just going through a rough time, that helps so much. And like I said, my biggest wish, I don't want to be out here for like another 1,000 years, but my biggest wish, my thing that I want to leave here on this earth, is to remember, like, this guy really did care about people. Like, this guy really did try to help people, put a smile on people's faces. And it's another reason why I'm doing the podcast so much. Why I do this content, because I know that there's times where you want that getaway, or just, I won't even put it like that. I'll just say there's just times you want to be entertained, you want to laugh. Not even because of a negative reason. You're in a good mood. Hey, I want to put something funny on. Hey, I want to put something entertaining on that I enjoy watching. And I'm hoping our content is a part of that. But at the same token, if you're somebody who's down in the dumps and you know that this content's going to make you happy, watch it. Please. Seriously. I want you to be happy. I want people to smile and just care about each other, help one another. And that's what's going to make this world a better place for all of us. That's, at the end of the day, that's the thing right there. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's just the act of helping somebody. You see an older person crossing the street. You see an older man or woman. You see an older person that's having trouble carrying something. Hey, sir, ma'am, you need me to carry this to your car for you? You need me to put this in the car for you? Just simple things like that. So it doesn't have to be financial. It's just about helping your brother, helping your sister. And by that, I just mean people. Just helping somebody. It's easier. I don't even want to say it's easier said than done anymore. It's easy. It's easy to help somebody. It's honestly, the older I've been getting, and the more, like, as far as like getting away from people that are 24/7 negative and kind of being around more of a positive environment, you see your life change more. You're happier, and then it's like, it's a lot easier for me to be happy and in a good mood. I do get frustrated at times. Don't get me wrong. I do get pissed off at times. Don't get me wrong. But I don't hold on to that for too long. Like, I gotta be pissed off for, say, like a day. That next day, I go to bed, I wake up, I'm blessed I'm awake again. And then just start all over fresh. But what I'm getting at with that is, for me, it's so much easier just to be nice and happy than it was to carry that whole angry, negative bravado. That especially more so, especially the ego, that teen ego, especially that's the fucking worst. That shit is just ignorant. But there's people that carry that shit on in their 40s, 50s, and it's just don't do it. Just try to be better, try to be happier. Figure that out. What's bothering you, what's angering you, and fix it. And if it's you, fix you. Because a lot of times it starts with you with that stuff. Like what you're allowing. Like somebody might treat you like shit, but you're allowing that to happen by still inviting them over and all that. It's like, yeah, you think he's funny, but you're always the butt of their jokes. And I don't mean like the way that we joke with each other. I mean like in a way that bothers you. So like when they leave and you're still thinking about it and it's bothering you here and here. Get away from people like that. Just be better to each other. Be better to yourself, be better to each other, and let's just help each other. Again, it's not hard to just help. It's not hard, and it's cool. Like it feels great to just put a smile on somebody's face over something so simple. Again, something that you might think is tiny, but it means the world to them. So you don't ever have to think it's tiny. If you can give somebody $1, and if you're uncomfortable with giving people cash because you're like, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, that's perfectly fine. It's like, hey, but I'll go in here, I'll get you a coffee. There's nothing wrong with that. I prefer to give you something to eat and drink. I mean, that's just how I am. That's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that, people. Let's really try to really help each other. Let's try to push each other. And another way to help, seriously, people, is hitting that share button, those ratings, all that fun stuff. It does help because it helps with the algorithms of getting our content seen more. From Chris's awesome show to my show to the show that we co-host on Popcorn and Pints and all the other content creators in general. Just hit that share. If you can't afford to donate, people, hit that share button.
It takes 2 seconds.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. Tell your friends and family about it. But yes.
So I just realized I never even gave my rating.
This happens all the time, Lucio. On this show, especially.
So I'm with you on the 8.5. For sure. For all those reasons that we discussed, I realized I went on the whole like what I loved about these and why we do them, blah 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 blah, and all that stuff. So that's why I give it the 8.5, just because one of the biggest things, like I said, small character, big impact to come later. Now, especially at the end, that happens. So I love that little bit because even the little guy is meaningful on the team. Even the weakest player, even the smallest player, or the relief pitcher, or if you only get to play one game, if in that one game you do something monumental to help the team and get them further, you were needed. You were right where you needed to be, and I love that message. I love that shit about this thing. And then to add on to what Sturdy said, before we cap it off here, like he said, if you're gonna be out there, you're gonna be trying to be nice. You're gonna try to pay it forward and help people and just do the right thing. Just do me one favor while you're doing it. One favor. I know everybody likes watching content. But how about you fucking make it a streak of you doing it repeatedly, and it becomes something that you normally do before you do it as a flex and you do it just for content. Make sure you're doing it because it's coming from here, not because you need somebody to do this.
Yeah, I will. As far as that goes, with helping people with, now I'll say with charities, if we're doing like a charity stream, that's different. But as far as me going to help somebody on the street, giving them money,
no, I'm talking about you being like, hey, let me go buy this guy a cup of coffee. Look, I'm buying him a cup of coffee, and you're on Instagram because come on, man. Like I don't
want to do that to people because I would never want to be in that situation to where you're like it's tight for you and you're just like, I don't want you streaming me across the world for this. Yeah, I'm gonna get past this. They're gonna get past this. It's just don't do that. Don't, because you don't know how those people really feel. That's my thing. Yeah,
don't be a nice person to flex. Be a nice person because it's genuine. Because that's how humanity fucking carried itself.
Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because it's convenient, not because it's clickbait, not because you're getting rewarded for it. I just want people. Hey, how can I just pay it forward? If you can afford, just pay it forward. And that's why when I get the gift cards, I leave them there. I'm hoping people will start doing that. I'm hoping that'll become a norm. Instead of this violent, stupid shit, let's make niceness become the norm. Let's make niceness become the cool shit.
So with that said, I am the worst Sam gamer ever. You have joined me on episode 24 of the Midnight Matinee with my boy Sir Sturdy over here. You can catch us again Saturday nights at midnight doing this. You can catch us at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time doing Popcorn and Pints. You can catch us on Tuesdays and Thursdays doing Horror with Sir Sturdy. You can catch my Motivational Monday stream on Monday. It's usually around 11, give or take 11 to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Sturdy on his watch parties on Friday night at 9:30. You can catch me on Fortnite Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all across the board on all of these. You can also get us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Check out the Z Network and all the loads of other content creators that are there. Join the group on Facebook. Remember, in order to be the best, sometimes you got to be the worst. I'll see you guys soon. Love y'all. Peace.